UFC 278 went on this Saturday. It is my second down, and I'm going to get into it deeper. But the first thing that kind of took the sports world by shock was a Gronk watch along where Gronk and his brothers, and they had people like Kevin Holland on. They did interviews with Dustin Poirier and all kinds of other stuff. I didn't actually watch all of it, but it's a good idea. I'll watch Gronk do anything. So Gronk and his family watched 278 live while it was going on, and they had an interview with Dana White. And Gronk is pushing Dana White to tell a story about Gronk and Brady possibly going to another team. That it wasn't always the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that there was another team involved. And so Dana White is kind of like, hey, man, you really want me to tell this story? Like, I don't think you really want me to tell this story. But he's like, no, go ahead. And Dana White tells a story about how he had brokered a deal with the owners of the Las Vegas Raiders for Brady and Gronk to go to the Raiders. It was supposed to be him come with John Gruden and replace Derek Carr, and they don't have Devontae Adams at the time, but they would have had, Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller and Josh Jacobs and Max Crosby and, a pretty good team. I don't think they were going to be as good as I think the situation he walked into was way better than the Buccaneers. But John Gruden apparently shut it down in the 11th hour. So he said that Brady was looking for houses, and then John Gruden shut it down. Okay, we'll get to John Gruden in a second, whose life is officially over. He doesn't have anything that he goes and I can't imagine he gets a college job. He's definitely not going to get a professional job anymore. The emails that were leaked of him saying the N-word and being wild, and not saying the N-word, but he was very openly racist. I don't think he said the N-word. Not in that, but I think there was something else that came out where he just had cancelable, is that a word? Offenses? I don't know, because you can't cancel me, bitch. So I think John Gruden fucked up, but I think that Tom Brady, now we know who, when he went on The Shop on HBO and said, y'all going to stick with this motherfucker? And we never knew who this motherfucker was. There was lots of speculation. It was, I thought it was Jimmy G. I thought he was talking about going to San Francisco, which I still think that he tried to go to San Francisco, and Kyle Shanahan just respectfully said no, which I'm sure was a shot to. Listen, at this point, you're the GOAT. Everyone tells you you're the GOAT. You've won 6 times. You're finally leaving. You think you're about to be the biggest name in free agency. You think you're about to rock the world. And this happens to you? You get this fucking John Gruden guy who's been sitting in an ESPN studio breaking down quarterbacks for the last 10 years. You get him saying, nah, I really don't. And I don't know why. I think a lot of questions of John Gruden. Also to Mark Davis and Mike Mayock and all those guys that are running the Raiders. Why didn't y'all tell Chucky to take a hike? I would have told him to shut the fuck up. I also would have said, I'm sorry, you don't want the GOAT for Derek Carr, who's probably not even going to last here for 10 years? Like, we're probably going to move on from him at some point when he can't get the job done. You're an idiot. You're the quarterback guru. You're the guy breaking down quarterbacks, and you don't want the greatest one of all time? Fucking moron. It makes no sense, and I really don't understand it from Gruden's point of view, but maybe he just, he's a control freak, and he knows that bringing Brady on is you're saying, I'm going to give up some of the control. Offensively, he's going to be the one kind of running things. We even saw like Bruce Arians be like, oh, Antonio Brown will never play for this team. And then Tom Brady said, hold on, pimp. Hold on. Just shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. You're sounding stupid right now. But I think John Gruden absolutely shit the bed on this. I don't know if they win the Super Bowl. They're definitely contenders, right? I mean, he's done much worse with much less, or he's done much better with much less. he doesn't do worse. He's always done well, no matter what. You give him Darren Waller, he makes him a fucking all-time great. He makes Hunter Renfrow very, very good. He makes all of them very good. He makes that offense much better. He would have brought Gronk with him. He probably would have brought other people with him. He probably could have even talked him back into Antonio Brown. Who the fuck knows? But it was just shocking. It was shocking that Dana White was a part of this. I think that was not something that anybody saw coming. We didn't think from this UFC 278 weekend that we would have such big news about Brady. But Gronk kind of broke the bro code. I'm sure that Brady's not terribly happy with him. I'm sure there's a sense of like, hey man, what the fuck? Like, this was private. Like, I'm still playing. Now I got to go shake hands with, so-and-so. But he also said on the shop that he was like extra motivated now to go fuck them up. And he beat the Raiders 45-20 in that first year that he was a Buccaneer and they played. And now that makes a little more sense, right? Now the 45 is like, oh, so this was not just an accidental number that just happened. He actually put his foot on the gas and fucking killed him. So it's an interesting storyline. How much are we now? I'm rooting for Raiders, Buccaneers in the Super Bowl, right? That's the greatest storyline you could come up with in this very early days of the NFL. But it's a huge story. I mean, I'm sure we're going to have Brady ask the question about it. He might not give us some spin. He might not say anything. He might tell us something more. But it was just shocking to hear. It also led some people like Skip to believe that because Gronkowski did this, because he kind of broke the golden rule and, kind of said this kind of wild thing, that possibly this is saying he is fully retired. There is no coming out of retirement. He's happy with where he's at. And I could see that. Listen, his body was already banged up before he came back for the Buccaneers. He has taken some of the most incredible shots, incredible illegal shots that were never called because he's Gronk and he's supposed to take it. He was the Shaquille O'Neal of the tight end position. But yeah, it was unbelievable to hear that. What idiot John Gruden. We already know now that you're an idiot because you're literally not in the league anymore. But to do this to the GOAT, and think about it now. Can you imagine Brady? You know how high I am on the Raiders now. You put Brady in where Derek Carr is right now with Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow in them. Yeah, they're a favorite. They're challenging the Bills and the Chiefs and everybody else in the AFC. That's a good team. The Bengals. They're right there in that. They're winning that division probably. They're going deep in the playoffs, and I could definitely see them winning a Super Bowl with what the team they have right now. So now is that in the back of Derek Carr's mind? Is he like, oh shit, like now this is out there and Brady's going to become a free agent next year. Like if I fuck this up, who's to say Mark Davis might go, you know what? John's not here anymore. And I know my head coach, that's right, Josh McDaniels would probably be a big fan of this. So, yeah, let's go ahead and let's make Derek sweat a little bit. I know they just gave him an extension and they are all in seemingly good, on good terms. But I'm just saying, this is going to be in the back of your mind a little bit. But thank you, Gronk. What a way to make a splash on your first UFC watch along. I'll definitely, let me tell you this much. On the next UFC, if it's, and let's be honest, the rest of the UFC for this was pretty boring up until the co-main event and the main event, which we will get into on the next down. But thank you, Gronk, for this huge nugget. It's definitely a huge news story that is going to continue to go around as we lead up to the NFL season. So thank you, Gronkowski. Spike it.